The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. There was a wedding at Cana in Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Jesus and his disciples were also invited to the wedding. When the wine ran short, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." And Jesus said to her, "Woman, how does your concern affect me? My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Now there were 6 stone water jars there for Jewish ceremonial washings, each holding 20 to 30 gallons. Jesus told them, "Fill the jars with water." So they filled them to the brim. Then he told them, "Draw some out now and take it to the head waiter." So they took it. And when the head waiter tasted the water that had become wine, without knowing where it came from, although they who had drawn the water knew, the head waiter called the bridegroom and said to him, "Everyone serves good wine first, and then when people have drunk freely, an inferior one. But you have kept the good wine until now." Jesus did this as the beginning of his signs at Cana in Galilee, and so revealed his glory, and his disciples began to believe in him. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Today we celebrate the feast day of Our Lady of Lourdes. So in 1858, Mary appeared to a little girl, Bernadette of Subaru, in Lourdes, France, in a cave. And she revealed many things to her, one of which was to develop a spring that was kind of latent there in the ground. And she dug and a spring welled up, and that there would be healing components to that spring. And to this day, that Lourdes is probably probably the top 3 visited pilgrimage sites in all of the world. Many miracles happen through that, the healing waters of that spring. So today the church is the world day of prayer for the sick. So we kind of honor that today too. So it's just a very alive apparition and feast day in our lives. I mean, 1858 is not that long ago in church history stuff. So anyway, that's kind of the gist of our feast day today. But there's a lot wrapped up in the mystery of our Blessed Mother's coming, and if you know a little bit about the apparition. So we always read a little excerpt from Bernadette's account of the apparition. We do that every year as priests, as part of the office of readings. So I'm very familiar with some of the general dialogue that went on with Bernadette and our Blessed Mother in this vision, this kind of private revelation that she had. So one of them is that she had a rosary. She had a yellow rosary, and there was yellow rose petals or roses on the tips of her shoes. And so Bernadette sees this, is just very awestruck, and she wanted to make the sign of the cross, but she didn't have the strength to make the sign of the cross, whatever state she was in. So Mary made the sign of the cross kind of for her, and then she had the strength to make the sign of the cross. And then she desired to pray the Hail Mary. And I think she struggled with that. But anyway, she started kind of knocking out some Hail Marys. And as she's praying the Hail Mary, the rosary beads are falling through our Blessed Mother's hands as she's praying the Hail Marys. It's just a really beautiful scene. And then, however it came about, in our little excerpt this morning, it didn't say exactly, but I think Bernadette asked, "Hey, what's your name?" But it didn't say that explicitly this morning. But Mary at some point exclaimed that she was the Immaculate Conception. We're familiar with that. That's part of the general knowledge of it. But it says in this account that she raised her arms and looked to heaven and said, "I am the Immaculate Conception." It's just profound. I mean, it's it's just really, there's just something super profound when Mary says, I am the Immaculate Conception. It goes back to Scripture, and when you think of when the angel Gabriel appeared to Mary, he didn't say, Hail Mary, full of grace, like we all do. He said, Hail, full of grace. He addressed her as full of grace, like that's who you are. So it's really a lot going on there. Definitely more than little Bernadette could comprehend, and more than we can comprehend. But it definitely does point to the fact that in 1854, the Holy Father at the time declared that Mary was the Immaculate Conception dogmatically. Okay, so a lot of this is just very deep, and there's a lot going on there. So I think what's dawned on me a little bit today is just how in our gospel today, Mary intercedes in the wedding couple's need for more wine, things like that. She kind of intercedes on their behalf for an actual need. She intercedes on our behalf in our prayers, and not just our prayer of I need this stuff, but our prayer of contemplation. That's what the rosary is ordered towards, is contemplating the mysteries of Christ. Says John Paul II. Okay, that's what the rosary is for, entering into the mystery. Mary helps us. Okay, so just that little image of when we're praying the rosary, like she's, the beads are falling through her hands too. When we enter into that prayer, she takes our hand and kind of, okay, let's go look at this mystery in a deeper way. Take the Immaculate Conception. We're just blown away as Bernadette is. We're just familiar with the term or the word, But okay, let's contemplate that one a little bit. Mary, help me. You are the Immaculate Conception. So as I ponder that, as I meditate on that mystery while praying the rosary, whoa, we're deep. Okay, I'm in it. And that's what the rosary is ordered towards. And we want to strive for that. We don't want to, kind of play around with that. We want to take time to pray our rosary well and enter into the mystery through contemplation. Mary helps us with that. I often find myself kind of like Subaru, wanting to do that, but struggling to do that. I want to make the sign of the cross, struggle, praying the Hail Marys, okay. Staying in the meditative state of pondering this mystery, kind of tough. Mary helps us. She helps us to meditate, contemplate the mysteries of Christ. So we see that in the gospel that she intercedes. And I think the rosary and even this feast day today shows us that she intercedes on our behalf more than just physical needs or needing extra grace. She helps us to dive deep into the contemplation of the mystery of Christ. And she does so by interceding, helping us pray the rosary. It's putting our hands in hers as she leads us into those mysteries of Christ that she was very intrinsically a part of. So really beautiful feast day for sure. And it just really keys on the mystery of our Blessed Mother's role in salvation history, but also her role in interceding for us in the contemplation of Christian mysteries.